In Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, casting a spell is not as simple as swinging a sword. Let's discover why magic users need protection at lower levels. Welcome to another DragonLance Saga episode. My name is Adam, and today I'm going to talk about spellcasting in combat in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. I'd like to take a moment and thank the DL Saga members and Patreon patrons, and invite you to consider becoming a member or patron. You can even pick up Advanced Dungeons & Dragons and Dragonlance Media, or get $10 signing up to StartPlaying.games using my affiliate links. I'm referencing the Player's Handbook and the Dungeon Master's Guide for this information. If I leave anything out or misspeak, please leave a comment below. Every spell in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons is built from up to 3 ingredients, called components. You'll see these listed on every spell description as V, S, and M. V is verbal. The spell requires spoken words, specific sounds in a specific order. This matters in play, because if you can't speak, if someone has magically silenced you or physically gagged you, you cannot cast that spell, period. S is somatic. This means physical gestures. Your hands and bodies have to move in exact prescribed ways. If you're tied up, grappled, restrained, or even just crouching on the ground, you can't complete those movements properly, and the spell fails. M is material. Some spells need a physical object, a pinch of something, a specific ingredient. Most of these small components are stored in little pockets and pouches sewn into a spellcaster's robes, so they're always at hand. But some components are bulky, and some are rare, and the rare ones have to actually be found during play. Here's an important rule. When a spell is cast, its material components are used up and gone. A few exceptions exist, like holy symbols and a druid's mistletoe, but the general rule is cast the spell, lose the component. This is one of the most important things to understand about Advanced Dungeons & Dragons magic. When you cast a spell, the memory of it is completely wiped from your mind. Gone. The act of speaking those words discharges the stored energy, and that discharge erases the spell pattern from your brain entirely. Why? The Dungeon Master's Guide actually explains this. Every spell is a set of sound patterns charged with energy from other planes of existence. Speaking the words releases that energy, and the release burns the pattern out of your memory. The casting doesn't drain you physically, but the spell itself is consumed. You can prepare the same spell multiple times. If you want to cast Magic Missile 3 times in one adventure, you can fill 3 of your spell slots with Magic Missile. But each one is a separate preparation, and each one is gone after use. Scroll spells work the same way. The magic is written into the scroll itself. When you read it to cast the spell, the writing vanishes from the page. The energy was stored in the ink and symbols, and casting it consumes them. Okay, this is the section that most new players find surprising because Advanced Dungeons & Dragons spellcasting in combat is much more demanding than in most other RPG systems. Let's walk through exactly how this plays out in a combat round. First, you declare your spell before anything happens. At the very start of the round, before initiative is rolled, and before anyone knows what the other side is doing, you have to announce what spell you're casting. You're committing blind. If the situation changes mid-round, your target drops, the enemy rushes your position, it doesn't matter. You've started and the rules still apply. Second, understand when attacks against you land. This is the part that really matters. Attacks directed at a spellcaster land on whichever segment of that round matches the attacker's initiative roll, and initiative in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons is rolled on a d6. Meaning attacks land somewhere in segments 1 through 6 of that round. That's the first half of the round. Meanwhile, most spells, especially higher level ones, don't complete until later segments, because casting time increases with spell level. A low level spell might go off in segment 3 or 4. A high level spell could take the full round or more. What this means in practice is the enemy's sword or arrow almost always arrive before your spell goes off. You are standing still, concentrating, finishing your cast, and the attack hits you first. Third, you cannot move, dodge, or use your dexterity bonus. While casting, you must stay relatively stationary. No running, no dodging, no normal walking. And critically, you cannot use your dexterity bonus to avoid being hit. Normally, that bonus helps you sidestep attacks, but using that instinct counts as movement and immediately breaks the spell. So you stand there, fully exposed, and absorb whatever comes. Fourth, any successful hit ends everything. A sword strike, an arrow, a spell you fail to save against. Any of these landing at any point during casting ruins the spell completely. It's lost as if it had been cast. You get nothing, and that memorized slot is gone. Fifth, intelligent enemies will always target you first. The rules explicitly state that smart monsters will direct attacks at spellcasters whenever they can reach them and aren't prevented by other opponents. You are the priority target, and enemies who understand magic know exactly why. The bottom line for new players. In a chaotic melee, the odds of successfully completing a spell are genuinely uncertain. The attack window against you opens at segment 1. Your spell probably doesn't resolve until segment 4, 5, or later, or even into the next round for higher level spells. That's a long time to be standing still with no dodge bonus and a sword coming at you. This is why experienced players position their spellcasters at the back of the formation, why having fighters screen for your caster is so valuable, and while magic users and clerics are encouraged to use wands, rods, and staves in close quarter fights whenever possible. Magical devices don't carry the same casting vulnerability. Save your spells for when you have room and safety to actually finish them. So, let's recap what we've covered today. Every spell has up to 3 components, verbal, somatic, and material, and disrupting any of them can stop the spell cold. Once cast, a spell is gone from memory, and casting in combat means standing still, giving up your ability to dodge, and hoping nothing hits you before you finish. That's a lot of moving parts, but once it clicks, it creates a really unique kind of tension that makes spellcasting feel genuinely weighty and important. But that is all the time I have to talk about spellcasting in combat in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. How do you manage spellcasting in combat? Do you force players to have a full night's rest before memorizing new spells? And finally, do you like the interruption mechanic of spellcasting in combat? Feel free to email me at info@dlsaga.com or leave a comment below. I would like to take a moment and remind you to subscribe to this YouTube channel, ring the bell to get notified about upcoming videos, and click the like button. This all goes to help other Dragonlance fans learn about this channel and its content. Thank you for watching. This has been Adam with DragonLance Saga, and until next time, remember, each spell is a combination of symbols and sounds which are charged with energy from one of the planes of existence.